believe so powerfully in the ability of entrepreneurial capitalism and free markets to solve so many of the world's problems. Not all of them, but so many of them.
So you live in Washington State, in Seattle, or outside of Seattle. Now, the man who was the richest man for about 20 years is named Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And what is the likelihood that the two richest men in the world live not only in the same country, not only the same state, not only the same city, but in the same neighborhood? I mean, is there something in that neighborhood that we should know about? And are there any more houses for sale there?
After I saw Bill not too long ago, we were joking about the world's richest man thing, and I basically said I said you're welcome, and he immediately turned to me and said thank you. But no, Medina is a great little, it's a suburb of Seattle, and I don't think there's anything special in the water there. And
right.
I did locate Amazon in Seattle because of Microsoft. I thought that big pool of technical talent would provide a good place to recruit talented people from, and that did turn out to be true. So it's not a complete coincidence. There's some correlation there.
So when you are the richest man in the world, do you go into a store, when you want to buy something, do you have to put a credit card down? You just say, I'm Jeff Bezos, and they send you the stuff? How do you do that? And do you have to carry cash around, or you carry anything?
I do carry cash, and I have credit cards, yeah.
And if your credit card...
I have to show my driver's license, and
But have you ever had a credit card denied? No, has that ever happened?
I have. I've had my credit card denied.
So what do you say when you say, don't you know who I am?
I give them another credit card. I say, here, try this one.
Okay. So earlier today, you made an announcement that is the most significant philanthropic gift you've made in this type. It was a... About a year ago, you said you wanted to look for some good philanthropic ideas, and you got, I think, 47,000 of them, and you reviewed them. And how did you decide where to put this $2 billion? And would you describe exactly what you're going to do?
Well, that process was very helpful. So I solicited ideas, kind of crowdsourced, and I got literally, as you said, something like 47,000, maybe even a little more. Some of them came to my inbox. Most of them came on social media. And I read through thousands and thousands of them. My office kind of correlated them all and put them into buckets. And there were some themes that emerged. But the other thing that's fascinating about that kind of exercise is you see just how long-tailed it is. People are interested in trying to help the world in so many different ways. And it's all the things you would expect. It's but also some more unusual things. But it's... some people are very interested in the arts and opera, and they think that's underfunded, and a lot of people are interested in medicine and particular diseases and think that those deserve more R&D dollars. All these things are correct. A lot of people are very interested in homelessness, including me. A lot of people are very interested in education of all kinds of interest, both kind of college scholarship type education, but also apprenticeship programs, or you name it, and people are interested in education. I'm very interested in early education, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My mother has become, in running the Bezos Family Foundation, she has become an expert in early education. I'm a student of Montessori schools. I started at Montessori when I was 2 years old, and the teacher complained to my mother, the Montessori school teacher complained to my mother that I was too task-focused and that she couldn't get me to switch tasks, so she would have to just pick up my chair and move me. And by the way, I think that's, if you ask the people who work with me, that's still probably true today.
Did that teacher ever call you since and said she was responsible for your success? Has she ever called you? No?
No, I'm in touch with several of my high school and elementary school teachers, though, but I don't know any of my Montessori school teachers.
Okay. So the gift that you're giving, essentially, you're going to have some for preschool for children who need preschool, free preschool.
Yeah, full tuition preschool, Montessori-inspired. I'm very excited about that because I'm going to operate that. That's going to be an operating nonprofit. I'm going to hire an executive team. There's going to be a leadership team. We're going to operate these schools. And we're going to put them in low-income neighborhoods. It's just, there's no doubt, we know for a fact that if a kid falls behind, it's really, really hard to catch up. And if you can give somebody a leg up when they're 2, 3, or 4 years old, by the time they get to kindergarten or first grade, they're much less likely to fall behind. It can still happen, but you've really improved their odds. And a lot of, probably most of the people in this room have been very mindful about making sure that their kids got very good preschool educations and got that kind of head start. That head start compounds fantastically. If you can get that, starting at age 2, 3, 4, there's a powerful compounding effect there. So it's highly levered. That's all that really means. The money spent there is going to pay gigantic dividends for decades.
So, and the other part of your gift will be to give awards out to...
Yes, and that's going to be more traditional grant-making philanthropy. So there, I'm going to identify, with the help of a team, I'm going to identify that we're going to hire, be a full-time team, identify and fund, vet and fund family homeless shelters.
And that will be, you said you would give an initial $2 billion.
Yeah.
You expect to add to that?
Yeah, it's day one. Everything I've ever done has started small. Amazon started with a couple of people, and Blue Origin started with 5 people, and the budget at Blue Origin was very, very small. Now the budget at Blue Origin approaches $1 billion a year. And next year it'll be more than $1 billion. So in Amazon, it literally was 10 people. Today it's 500,000 people, but it's hard to remember for you guys, but for me it's like yesterday I was driving the packages to the post office myself and hoping one day we could afford a forklift. And so for me, I've seen small things get big, and it's part of this day one mentality. I like treating things as if they're small. Amazon, even though it is a large company, I wanted to have the heart and spirit of a small one. And so anyway, the day one foundation is going to be like that. We'll wander a little bit too. So we have some very specific ideas of what we want to do, but I believe in the power of wandering. All of my best decisions in business and in life have been made with heart, intuition, guts, not analysis. When you can make a decision with analysis, you should do so. But it turns out in life that your most important decisions are always made with instinct, intuition, taste, heart. And that's what we'll do with this day one foundation too. It's part of that day one mentality. As we go about, building out this network of nonprofit schools, we'll learn new things and we'll figure out how to make it better.
So one of the decisions that you are doing by...
And the customer is going to be the child. This is so important because that is the secret sauce of Amazon, where there are several principles at Amazon, but the number one thing that has made us successful by far is obsessive, compulsive focus on the customer as opposed to obsession over the competitor. And I talk so often to other CEOs and some other CEOs and also founders and entrepreneurs. And I can tell that even though they're talking about customers, they're really focusing on competitors. And it is a huge advantage to any company if you can stay focused on your customer instead of your competitor. So then you have to identify who is your customer. So at the Washington Post, for example, is the customer the people who buy advertisements from us? No, the customer is the reader. Full stop. The customer is the reader. And then, by the way, where do advertisers want to be? Advertisers want to be where there are readers. So it's really not that complicated. It comes around really well. And in the school, who are the customers? Is it the parents? Is it the teachers? No. It is the child. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to be obsessively, compulsively focused on the child. We're going to be scientific when we can be. And we're going to use heart and intuition when we need to.